Hello everyone, welcome to your 4 to 5 on this Friday.
Yes.
I love it.
You get it? Not Friday, but Friday.
We got it.
Get it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sydney, Eric, Claire, Chad.
Hi.
It's a great weekend. Got a lot going
Emphasis on the yay this weekend.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of events, going to be nice.
Weather's good.
That's why I'm
nice.
yang, is because of the weather.
on. Ooh,
Oh,
and
yeah.
look behind us. It looks absolutely beautiful.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
a little bit cool though, but we are going to be warming up.
Okay.
Super exciting.
Excited about that, and I know other people who are excited about that. A&T homecoming this weekend, finally here. You gotta check out the crowds from years past. Lots of Aggie pride from the football game to the parade and everywhere in between.
That's right, homecoming for A&T, also known as the greatest homecoming on earth, generates millions for the state and local economy. Thousands of people are expected to be in Greensboro for all of the great festivities.
Lots going on. WFMY News 2's Giselle Thomas joins us live from the Corey Convention Center, where alumni are gathering right now for homecoming.
Now, there are hundreds of Aggies out here, and they are so excited to be celebrating their homecoming week. But specifically, right now and just around the corner, there are Aggies who are celebrating a reunion, specifically for the classes ending in 3s and 8s. And right now, I'm here with Dr. Velma Spate, and she is from the class of the 53s. And she is literally celebrating her 70th anniversary, and she's also the first female Board of Trustees chair. Now, Dr. Spate, please tell me, how many Aggie homecomings have you been to?
68.
Wow, 68. That is
68 out of the 70. Yeah.
that shows dedication. Now, what happened with the other two?
Well, one I was in Japan and the other one I was in Ghana.
Well, you know, that shows that nothing could have kept you away because you love Aggie Nation.
I love it. Yeah.
I also wanted to ask, can you tell me a little bit about, since you made so much history within Aggie Nation, tell me a little bit about what you would like the younger Aggies to know.
Well, I say to all younger Aggies, take advantage of every opportunity that you have at North Carolina A&T. We will assure you that you're going to be successful, right? Because that's what Aggies do.
Yes, ma'am. And the last thing I have to ask, because it's homecoming week, what is one thing that you pride the most in being an Aggie?
Well, I pride most in being an Aggie because when you're an Aggie, you got contacts around the world. You're an Aggie, you know you're going to be successful because you've been prepared to do what needs to be done. And when I come back and see all of my mentees and their success, I love it.
I'm told, thank you so much. Thank you, Dr. Spate. Now, I'm told that there are so many alumni here who are so excited to continue the homecoming celebrations. And coming up in the next hour, I'll tell you a little bit about why some vendors say they cannot wait to come back and they continue to stay a part of Aggie Homecoming. Live in Greensboro, Giselle Thomas, WFMY News 2.
Great, looking forward to that, Giselle. Thank you. The cheerleaders at North Carolina A&T know how to put on a show. With the homecoming game just a day away, fans are in for a treat. WFMY News 2's Lauren Coleman caught up with the squad to find out how they are making program history.
At any North Carolina A&T football game, fans come out to support the players, band, and of course, the cheerleaders.
Shake it up, left, boot, and go!
North Carolina A&T cheerleaders, we're versatile. That's the word I can think of. We stunt, we tumble, we do traditional cheer, we stump and shake. We're all around great cheerleaders.
Isis Hooper is a senior and co-captain of A&T's cheerleading squad. She says fans attending this year's homecoming are in for a treat.
Tumbling, stunts, backflips going in the air, people twisting in the air when we're making touchdowns. So it's a lot that's expected of us, and we want to make sure that we stay at that caliber at all times. So we just come in prepared, ready to give a show for the fans.
Anticipation for the team's performance is even greater this year. This after the group made program history in the spring when they placed second in the nation at the National Cheerleading Association College National Competition in Daytona Beach, Florida.
You can spirit afterwards. Yep. Ready. That was the first time that university has ever competed there, and so it was a big deal. It was making history. So I took 20 athletes for the first time to that competition, so all got on that stage for the first time ever. The nerves were high, but we all wanted to do it for each other, but then for the university.
Head cheer coach Daniel Kearns-Pickett says the squad was .0925 away from snatching the first place spot at the competition with an overall score of 97.5857.
Aggie pride.
So I think that for me and for my athletes, we wanted that Cinderella happy ending, but I think it gave us the determination and the hunger this season to make sure that doesn't happen to us again.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, dip 1, QP 5.
Determination and grit are what the group says being an Aggie cheerleader is all about.
Coming into practice, being intentional in the things that we're doing, being focused and pushing each other to different levels. I take cheer as something that I will use in life when it comes to leadership, working with people, mentoring, motivating. That is my passion.
Exciting. The Aggies competed in the intermediate all-girl Division I against 20 other teams.
And you can see the Aggie Cheer Squad in action tomorrow during the homecoming parade. It starts on East Lindsay Street at 8 a.m. Elm Street between Lindsay and Bessemer will be closed for the parade. We made a comprehensive homecoming guide. Just text the word GHOE to 336-379-5775 and we'll send you a link.
Well, we had another below freezing morning this morning with lows that managed to crawl into the upper 20s and lower 30s across the Triad. 30 in Greensboro, 29 in Winston-Salem. The good news, if you're not a fan of those freezing temperatures, well, we are going to be warming up here the next several days, including today. A little bit of a difference from what we saw yesterday in the 50s, more so in the 60s across the area. And with high pressure moving offshore and that cold front staying well to our north, we're going to be back in the upper 60s, even lower 70s for not only Saturday and Sunday, but also into early next week. So what you can expect into tomorrow, a little bit of a cool start, but not expecting to go below freezing. Comfortable by the afternoon, up to around 70 degrees at most. Clear skies, and this weekend features a lot of those clear skies. Warmer afternoons ahead, beautiful days for your upcoming weekend. And heading into early next week, we're actually going to be getting even warmer than the lower 70s. I've got more of a look at your 7-day forecast coming up in just a couple minutes.
Claire, thank you. Let's get to your 4 to 5 roundup. Still no decision in the sentencing hearings for Molly Corbett and Tom Martins in the 2015 murder of Jason Corbett. Today in court, the defense argued blood splatter evidence and whether it indicates Molly tried to help her husband by performing CPR after Martins beat him. That is. Now, the father-daughter duo was initially convicted of Jason Corbett's murder, but the Supreme Court discarded those convictions for procedural errors. Their cases was set to be heard for a retrial when both accepted plea deals for manslaughter earlier this week. We'll be sure to let you know once a decision is made.
The vape smoke detectors are coming to Guilford County schools. District leaders voted to install the devices in all middle and high schools to combat vaping. They'll be installed as soon as this spring. Rockingham County Schools already uses the devices and says they've made a difference. We'll have a closer look at the move tonight at 5.
There's a growing concern about Duke Energy power outages in West Greensboro. Earlier this morning, an outage was reported near West Friendly Avenue and Bridford Parkway, affecting 2,000 people. Duke Energy says it was caused by an object hitting a power line, but some customers who live in the area say they've had several outages like this in the past. As of right now, power has been restored, but we've reached out to Duke Energy for more information.
Well, you know, if you're trying to sell your house, of course you want it to look good, but there are a few things you might not have heard of that can actually make a pretty big difference. I spoke with realtors Melissa Greer and Dan Horfeck, who say that it's all in the details, even down to the color of the front door.
We see blue, we see pink, which is really cool. There's several pink ones. And even O. Henry Magazine did a story on them and drove around, and one of them was pink, one was light blue. You see teal, you see navy blue. It's very interesting. Now, if you get to a more traditional neighborhood where you don't see that as much, I think usually black is always safe. If people want to know, that's what I tell them. A dark charcoal is always safe, depending on the color of the house. But usually, if you need something to pop or you want to make it interesting, or even just appealing to someone who would want to see something different, then I think it's a way to distinguish your house from someone else's.
And there are other ways to clean up the front, and some of them will not drain the wallet.
Curb appeal is really important, and some of the obvious things are trimming your shrubs and trees, putting some fresh flowers out, whether that's in the ground or some nice pots framing the front door. But one of the things that people may not think about, but really provides a great finishing touch, is the mulch. And I recently had a client who just switched from pine bark mulch to pine straw, just because it gives a little bit neater finish. It's definitely a cheap or less expensive option. And it's something you can do yourself, so you don't have to hire anybody to do it.
So that's interesting. Everybody says, you know, mow the grass, plant some flowers, and
Sure.
get that, but I didn't think of mulch. And he said, don't do the expensive pine bark nuggets or whatever, just do the pine straw because it's less expensive, but it dresses up your yard. And you can do it yourself. You don't have to hire somebody to do that because it's so easy and small.
When I was looking for a house earlier this year, it's crazy how much just something little like that can make a difference when you're showing a home. You know, one house didn't do anything, and then the next one, it might have not as been as nice as a house, but when you dress it up a little bit and make it look like people live there, it can make a huge difference.
Yeah, they could have all of the glitz and glamour in
Yes.
the interior and things of that nature, but even in the exterior, if it looks really nice, it's easy for someone, exactly like you're saying, to go for that one.
And that's the first thing you do. You drive by and you go, that's a cute
Right.
house. Like that gets you in the door. The builder that sold our house to us, I thought, well, this was genius. He baked cookies before we got there.
It's the little things.
And so when we opened the door, literally chocolate chip cookie smell, and you were like, this is home. I'll sign the document.
And so, and what do the cookies cost? You know, $3?
Right. I told him, I said, you did this on purpose. And he said, I sure did.
Absolutely.
Food always makes me
Yes, we'll be right back.
In just 100 days, Super Bowl 58 will be held in Las Vegas, and you can watch the big game right here on WFMY News 2.
Yeah, there was a 100-day kickoff ceremony today in Times Square.
Next life-changing. The countdown starts now. It's more than the Super Bowl. It's the Super Bowl in Las Vegas.
100 days until more than 100 million people tune in for Super Bowl 58. For many fans, the anticipation has already begun.
I want to see touchdowns, baby, touchdowns.
I cannot wait for the Super Bowl parties. I can't wait to watch.
We are setting out on a journey to the Super Bowl.
Everyone at Paramount and CBS Sports is preparing for the most watched television event in the country, including James Brown broadcasting his record 12th Super Bowl.
Just like the players, that's the big payoff for us, and we look excitedly forward and toward the Super Bowl.
The game is being played in Las Vegas for the first time, and Paramount is promising a mountain of entertainment for fans of all ages. Speaking of entertainment, there's a lot of buzz around the halftime show featuring Usher. On CBS Mornings, he wouldn't reveal what he has planned.
I'm really humbled that I have this opportunity. I want to make it the best performance that the world has ever seen.
You can catch the big game on February 11th on CBS, streaming on Paramount Plus, and for the first time ever on a kid-friendly broadcast on Nickelodeon.
And don't forget, you can catch the big game halftime performance featuring Usher and Super Bowl commercials right here on WFMY on February 11th.
We've just wrapped up this week's Panthers trivia game to win 2 tickets to a game next month, and we'll announce the winner on air tonight at 11. Since we're the official home of the Carolina Panthers, we've got 3 more giveaways coming up. Week 2 of trivia kicks off next Monday at noon. And you can watch the Panthers this weekend here on WFMY. Carolina is hosting the Indianapolis Colts. Kickoff is at 4:05 p.m. The Panthers are looking for their 2nd win of the season. We'll be right back.
Well, we've had several freezing mornings in a row, but we are beginning to warm up. Temperatures right now sitting in the 60s. A little bit of an improvement from what we saw just 24 hours ago, between 5 to around 10 degrees with more warmth on the way for the weekend. Beautiful, nice blue crisp skies across there thanks to high pressure remaining dominant over the Carolinas. Next 12 hours going back from the 60s into the 50s, 40s and 30s, but not expecting to get below freezing into tomorrow morning. Still going to be a cold cold start, but by the afternoon, thanks to lots of sunshine and high pressure moving offshore, we're back to the comfortable upper 60s to near 70 throughout the weekend. And look at those skies also heading throughout the day on Saturday. Nice and blue, upper 60s, turning back into the 50s for your evening plans. Couple of clouds making their way, according to this model, on Sunday, back near 70 heading into the afternoon. And speaking of this weekend, something to make sure you are doing, setting those clocks an hour back for the end of daylight saving time. Again, you're going to want to have to do that. And of course, checking on your smoke alarms and carbon monoxide detectors as well. Counting down the days till some of our favorite holidays now that we are in November, back into around 8 days. Veterans Day, 20 days just from Thanksgiving, 48 days from the first day of winter, with average highs in the lower 50s. 7-day forecast features some warmer weather, though, not really feeling like the season. We're back into the middle 70s by the time we head into next week. Much cooler air arrives heading into your Friday.
A Reston, Virginia woman is reaching new heights. In April, Chris Howard quit her job of 33 years to chase her dreams. A couple of days later, she set off on a journey to hike the entire Appalachian Trail. The trail is the longest hiking-only footpath in the world, spanning 2,200 miles in 14 states, including North Carolina. Last week, her journey came to an end when she reached the peak of Mount Katahdin in central Maine. And Howard took on the big challenge after a recent melanoma scare. She also did a blog during her journey, and she says hiking the trail was hard, but it taught her to never give up.
Oh,
I can't do that.
Incredible.
It is incredible.
I know. I will
speechless.
just say, you know, I've tried to hike, and I've kind of like recently pick that up in terms of just hobbies and things of that nature, and being able to hike that long and be out there has to be super, super tough. I mean, I fall out.
How long
did
she say
nearly
she was
a mile
out there?
I didn't say how long. I don't remember how long she was up.
Yeah, so
started in
200
April.
miles,
Yep.
right?
Mhm.
Wow.
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So it's incredible to be able to take that on.
I'll tell you how
It's tough.
horrible I am. My wife, she wanted to take the little ones and us go on this hike. I can't remember the name of the place. It's up near Summerfield where we live. And I said, how far out? And she goes, it's about a mile and a half out, a mile and a half back. So it's 3 miles. And I was like, no. And then she goes, no, you have to go. So we started walking. And it's just the first mile. And I was like,
tough.
please, Lord.
I feel like she came from the family that does turkey trots on Thanksgiving. Is that
Yes,
true?
she pushes me to do the hiking stuff. Now, she's not a runner anymore, but
No.
she'll try to I don't even want to do the hiking. I'm so bad.
It's those hills and going up the
Yes.
hills. But sometimes, you know, you might find folks out there with their bikes, and maybe that could help a little bit.
I needed a wheelbarrow that I could just jump in. Somebody take me
Yeah,
back.
well, I mean, it's one thing to do it on like flat land, right? But if you're going through the
Mhm.
mountains on the Appalachian Trail, I mean,
It's
that's
tough.
tough.
Oh,
Yeah.
but the sightseeing must be nice as
Oh,
well.
yeah, she's got a probably good photo album. from
I
that.
bet.
Oh, yeah.
In
We'll be
between me
right
passing out.
Right.
It's beautiful in between pass outs.
We'll be right back.
There is quite the treasure hunt brewing in Arizona. The water is receding on Lake Conway, and it's getting easier to see what's been at the bottom. For the first time, local leaders are allowing people with a permit to hunt for treasure.
It's a unique project. We've never done anything quite this big. We've done other lake renovations. They've been smaller.
Trey Reed with Game & Fish says they created a treasure hunting permit because of how many Arkansans expressed interest in it.
I think part of it is because of Conway's proximity, Lake Conway's proximity to Little Rock and Conway, a big population center here in central Arkansas.
The 75-year-old lake is in the beginning stages of a renovation where crews are slowly draining it. It's expected to take about 5 years. Dustin Ware lives on the lake and hopes the project goes by fast.
It's not gonna be a lake for 5 years. It's gonna be a big hole, and it's gonna be a big mud hole for that matter.
In the meantime, Ware plans to get his treasure hunting permit so he can start his search.
I plan to, absolutely plan to. Living on the lake, being on the lake body, you have to.
Although he might find some neat things, he still has a lot of questions about what he's actually allowed to collect.
Should I have a permit to remove trash? Should I have a permit to remove debris? Should I have a permit to remove, I don't know. It's a wide open spectrum of things to go into.
Reed says some of the prohibited items include archaeological artifacts, vegetation, and dirt and rocks.
You know, pretty much most other things, you can go look for them and you can keep them.
Someone's trash is another man's treasure.
I can't wait to see what they find.
I know all the different things. If I was a part of this, I would be thinking of all the leftover things, like maybe like a watch or like some sort of clock thing, a ring, different type of jewelry, just something really cool, shells that you could be able to keep and you know, be able to have a whole bunch of them at your house.
They're probably letting him do it too because it's part cleanup, because they're going to help him clean up.
Right.
But then also, you finders keepers.
I'm waiting to see like if they find like a cell phone from decades ago, like
love
one of the
that.
old block phones from the early 2000s.
A flip
or a
phone.
note in a locket.
Ooh, in a bottle.
Ooh.
So when we were in
bottle.
Aruba for my birthday, well, you think it wouldn't sink, right? The note in the,
Never know.
Yeah, that's true.
So when we were in Aruba for my birthday, one of my friends, he went tubing and his $600 watch came off and went into the ocean.
So
So
now
I'm
it's
just,
gone.
yeah, it's gone, yeah. I'm just thinking about like stuff like that,
You
engagement rings, wedding rings.
All those different things. So the next person that finds that,
It
they'll
will
be like,
me. I'm going out there. Let's go to Arkansas.
That would be fun. What are you going to do? We're going to dig through the mud in Arkansas. That's a vacation.
find some treasure.
We'll be right back.
Okay. Hey, mic check 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. It's like weirdly cold, but not. It's strange. Mic check, mic check, mic check.
Club 4 to 5 music, in case you're not aware.
Should only be used on Fridays.
Only on Fridays, yes.
Only in the 4 to 5 on Fridays.
425.
F2F. F2F. F2F.
Well, how are you all feeling on this Friday?
Apparently, we're all good. We're laughing up a storm here.
Excited.
Yeah. This week went by fast. That's what I feel like.
It did.
Felt like we were just
Although
on Monday.
Wednesday, remember we said this, I think, I kept thinking it was Thursday on Wednesday because we were having so much fun and laughing. I was like, has to be a Friday if we're laughing this much.
Yeah, for this happy, right?
Laughing is good for the soul.
It sure is.
It really is.
Well, speaking of Friday, you know exactly what that means. It's time for our Friday Football Fever Game of the Week preview.
Yeah, the first round of the playoffs kick off tonight. Our game of the week is between the Page Pirates and East Forsyth Eagles. WFMY News 2's Amanda Ferguson is live in Kernersville with the preview. Hey, Amanda.
Hey guys, yeah, week 1 of the high school football playoffs about to get underway tonight. We are here at East Forsyth getting ready for our game of the week. The Eagles hosting Page later today, and I'm joined by the Eagles quarterback, Bryce Baker here. He's a junior. Bryce, how do you guys prepare for the playoffs and Page?
Yeah, so just throughout the week, I see a lot of film study and just trusting in each other overall. We have a lot of leaders on this team, and that's great to have. We're able to hold each other accountable and just every day in practice give it our best, try to prepare weekly. The film studies definitely help, though, and specific details of what we have to execute, and execution will be big for us tonight.
The playoffs, obviously, it's one and done. Does that add extra pressure on this game?
I mean, we approach it like every other game. Of course, we want to win, and we have that next gear of our mentality that we're going for that state championship. So we definitely want to give it all, give it our all. And, yeah, I mean, it's just like another game for us, but we just got to continue to do what we do and execute.
Got a UNC commit here. What was it like committing to play for Mac Brown, and why did you choose the Tar Heels?
Yeah, Tar Heels is definitely the place. I definitely want to stay close, and I put my full trust in the coaching staff. I truly believe that they can guide me to my goals, and that's the NFL. So just continue to prepare for that daily personally, and once I get there, I believe that they can help me get there mentally and physically.
Can't wait to see you play there, but also can't wait to see you play tonight, Page and East Forsyth here at 7 p.m. We'll have all the action for you coming up on WFMY News 2 at 11.
Well, we've slowly been warming up for the last couple of days, although this morning was another sub-freezing start thanks to high pressure moving offshore. Warmer air is on the way, although we are watching that cold front stay well to our north. Warmer air thanks to high pressure bringing in that counterclockwise rotation, southwesterly winds pushing in that air as we start to see more upper 60s to near 70 heading into this weekend. So something to look forward to if you are a warm weather fan. Temperatures the next 20 hours going from the 60s, 50s, 40s into the middle and lower 30s. Not expecting to get sub-freezing once again, but still going to be a cold start heading into the weekend. But into Sunday morning, we're back near around 40. All sunshine, warmer weather heading into the afternoon. And something to also keep in mind, this drought report, latest one was released this Thursday. Abnormally dry to moderately dry conditions across the area for the central Piedmont, and not looking at much relief. 7-day forecast features lots and lots of dry conditions still in the lower, middle, and upper 70s heading into next week. Next best shot of rain is returning next Friday.
To the war to the Middle East now, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken delivered a message from President Biden to the Israeli Prime Minister, reiterating America's support for Israel. Blinken also delivered a request that appeared to fall on deaf ears. Erica Brown has more details from the White House.
Israeli ground forces say they have surrounded Gaza City as their aerial bombardment of the Hamas-controlled territory continues. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said, "We will not relent until we achieve our goals, destroying Hamas, returning our hostages, and returning the security to our citizens and children." Netanyahu's vow to keep fighting came after he met with U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken, who asked for a pause to allow aid into Gaza and civilians to escape.
We provided Israel advice that only the best of friends can offer on how to minimize civilian deaths.
President Biden has said the U.S. is working hard to find a way to get Americans safely out of Gaza. He reiterated that call Friday morning.
President Biden, your message to Americans trying to get out of Gaza right now.
The U.S. is also working to try to prevent others from joining the fight against Israel.
We need to continue to prevent escalation of this conflict. It's spread to other areas.
Israel says civilians in the north of the country were injured in a rocket attack from Lebanon. It responded by targeting Hezbollah infrastructure. Hezbollah's leaders threatened further attacks and criticized the U.S. for backing Israel. Friday, the Pentagon released photos showing the USS Eisenhower and USS Ford strike groups taking position in the eastern Mediterranean near Israel.
And U.S. leaders deployed the strike groups with order to deter hostile attacks against Israel and to try to prevent a widening of the war between Israel and Hamas.
All right, let's get to your 4 to 5 roundup now. First up today, one of the officers accused in the beating death of Tyree Nichols could spend up to 15 years in prison. Desmond Mills agreed to plead guilty to 2 counts yesterday: excessive force and conspiracy to witness tamper. He's one of 5 Memphis police officers facing charges in the January incident. So far, he's the only one who's pleaded guilty. A judge will now determine his sentence.
A Manhattan jury has found FTX founder Sam Bankman-Fried guilty on 7 counts of fraud, conspiracy, and money laundering. Federal prosecutors accused the 31-year-old of defrauding customers of his now collapsed cryptocurrency exchange out of billions of dollars. His lawyer maintained his innocence and says they will continue to fight the charges. He faces a potential sentence of 110 years in prison.
The National Retail Federation predicts holiday spending will hit record levels this year, 3 to 4% higher than last year. Economists say this year's anticipated growth marks a return to pre-pandemic levels. The group also says online spending will continue to outpace in-person shopping, and gift cards and experiences will be more popular than gifts people unwrap.
And if you don't tip on takeout, it could cost you. DoorDash is advising customers to tip their delivery people or expect to wait. The delivery service has been testing a warning message for customers who leave a $0 tip at checkout, saying it could take longer to get your food. Now that's because delivery drivers are less likely to accept orders without a tip.
And some shocking claims from the CEO of Levi Strauss while speaking at the Shop Talk convention in Las Vegas. Levi's CEO, Charles Berg, says his company's jeans should never be washed, and if they are too dirty, you should conserve water and wear them in the shower while you wash up. He says this is what he hopes, and the idea went viral on TikTok. Now, if you're not a believer, Levi's also has a guide on its website how to properly wash your jeans.
I was just about to say that. Those websites have great tools in regards to how to do that.
And what do they say? I mean, does it really suggest that you wear them in the shower?
I don't understand why.
Now that's, I've never really heard of something like that before.
It was just the CEO, like his opinion, not
just the CEO.
His opinion does not represent
top guy.
Yes,
right.
Just the CEO.
Have you guys had any jean scary stories at all?
Not really.
I know my favorite jean story.
I've said this,
favorite jean I've said this before. When you find some $20 bill or $5 bill in your pocket and it accidentally gets washed and you pull it out and it's still good to go. Nothing better than that.
Wait till you have kids and you don't know what you're going to find in the pockets.
A dirty diaper.
Oh no, not in the pocket. Chewing gum, candy.
How'd that diaper make it to the pocket?
A passy, a little pacifier.
A pacifier.
If they're on a passy, they're not putting anything in their pockets.
Candy or something.
We gotta get Chad. You gotta come over. You gotta come visit.
I don't want to.
Yes, you are. Making you come over.
Come over on laundry day, right?
It's chocolate is what you hate to find in their pockets.
You hope it's
and then it goes through the wash. And
you hope it's chocolate.
You just gotta get a new pair of jeans after that.
We're back to the diaper again. All right, we'll be right back.
Hey, you know that IFB that you gave me, Brad Lowry? It stinks. I did turn it off and turn it back on again. It is, and I don't like it.
I mean, it's still gross. Yeah, that was somebody else's kid.
Yeah, it's like, it's a weird thing where it kind of goes in and out and stuff like that.
For IFB, because she was like, it stinks. I was like, it stinks like it smells. And you thought I was talking about it.
I did. And I said, well, yeah, it's gross.
Fall back. You know, you're going to hear us remind you about changing your clocks back 1 hour this weekend all the way through Sunday. It's the time of year that we hear a whole lot of myths about the time change. So let's talk about what is true about daylight saving time. DST. Daylight saving time. This is the right way to say it. A whole lot of people want to add an S to the savings, but there is no S in daylight saving time. And you may have heard that Ben Franklin created DST. In reality, he wrote a satirical essay suggesting that Parisians could save on candles if they just got up a little earlier and made use of the morning light. He was really proposing they change their sleep schedule, not time itself. The Uniform Time Act went into effect in 1967 here in the U.S., standardizing time in our country. It created a nationwide daylight saving time schedule in spring and fall. The law allows states to opt out of the schedule and remain on standard time all year round, which is why Hawaii, most of Arizona, and U.S. territories do not change their clocks. In the last 5 years, 19 states have either enacted legislation or passed resolutions to stay sprung forward all year long, but no state can switch to DST until they get congressional approval. All right, so the update here on this, in 2021, the House didn't take up a bill to keep daylight saving time year-round. A similar bill is currently pending now, but I got to tell you, daylight saving time is like the least of Congress's worries at the moment.
Well, I mean, maybe they could agree on that since they don't agree on anything else.
That might be
it.
Maybe. Is that what you'd want to keep?
I don't think I care either way. I do think it would be nice to stick with one thing, one or the other, whatever it would be.
It really does not. I'm the same with you. I'm
affect
on board with you. It really doesn't make a difference to me.
Of course, you know, your phone changes the time all by itself, right? But your microwave, your house alarm, your old car, it has to be changed manually. In my old car, the wrong time was in the car for like, I don't know, 4 months before I decided to change it.
And then you might as well just wait the
wait.
6 months.
That's
so
right.
Then it'll be back on time again.
Do you go and change the clock Saturday night, or do you just wait whatever time on Sunday you wake up?
It's Sunday.
Yep.
Really?
Mostly because it's the clock that isn't a priority for me. Like I go by my phone, and so that will already change.
Gotcha. All right.
Which is such a nice feature.
So one more time, in case you didn't hear it.
For all of you in the back.
That's right. Don't forget, you need to turn the clocks back this weekend.
Hey there, it's your friends from the Good Morning Show, Ben, Lauren, and Megan.
Do you have a little one who's turning 2 years old?
We want to celebrate them on TV with Who's Turning 2 Tuesdays. Text birthday to 336-379-5775 to find out how to submit your birthday.
Welcome back. A coffee shop in Tennessee has a new drink for you to try. It's called the Mayo Mocha, and it was inspired by Tennessee Titans rookie quarterback Will Levis, who casually puts mayonnaise in his cup of joe. Yeah, you heard me right. While you may think it's nasty, people in Tennessee say don't knock it till you try it.
Inside Humphrey Street Coffee,
The first one was half sweet, right?
they've got crafting each cup down to an exact science.
Getting that perfect texture in the milk.
But for a new specialty drink they've concocted, they're holding the cream
Make sure it's all mixed up in there.
for a different kind of condiment.
It is a lot of mayonnaise.
Now, if you're wondering what the Hellmann's is going on here, we need to show you this.
Will Levis, quarterback at the University of Kentucky, and I have been known to put mayonnaise in my coffee sometimes.
Before rookie quarterback Will Levis was slinging touchdowns for the Titans, he was grossing out the internet.
Oh, the sound. It's so concerning. No.
He's a little bit crazy.
The idea of putting mayo in his mocha initially disgusted the shop founder, Brian Hicks. That is, until his team came up with a tasty way to honor the new Titans star.
The idea sort of turned my stomach, but in fact, if you taste the mocha that they made with the special syrup that they created, it's actually really good.
Maybe this is a bad time to mention this, but as big of a Titans fan as I am, as big of a Will Levis fan as I am, I'm not a coffee fan, but I bet we can find someone who is.
I think it's pretty nasty, honestly.
While we definitely stirred up some doubters,
I just feel like it doesn't belong in a drink.
after spreading it on thick with some other customers, would you be willing to try it? We were able to find some taste testers.
Honestly, it's not terrible. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's real smooth.
Now, to be clear, Humphrey Street doesn't plan on making this a permanent item on the menu.
I mean, people will come in and try anything.
Unless Levis keeps on winning.
If it's helping Will, then we have to join in.
In that case, they may have to reconsider, because unlike making their coffee,
And I do half an ounce of the mayo mocha.
winning in the NFL isn't an exact science.
So I will say, just watching the actual mayo jar go into the cup kind of
that
makes
was
you
gross.
feel a little sick. But I love coffee, and I'm always interested in trying new types of coffee drinks and lattes and things of that nature. So I would try it.
If you could heat it, put it in the milk, make it creamy.
The creamy
I might
part.
try that. It's the
clumps
yes.
for me that
It's
make
the
It's just seeing the mayo bottle entirely for me.
Just Hellmann's. It just screams.
Right, just
not no
blobs
coffee,
going
right? You know what's funny? When I was growing up, they put mayonnaise in the cookie mix at my school, and that is what made them taste so good.
No, I don't
And they
like
didn't tell
that.
us that until after.
They didn't
like
tell
later
y'all.
on. No.
I mean, if you don't know and you try
You
something,
try
like if
something-
somebody gave you that
Yeah.
coffee and
I
said,
feel like
try
that
this
could make
new
someone sick,
coffee mix, and you didn't know, you might have an open mind and say, I like this. Say, oh, it's mayonnaise.
Hopefully someone wouldn't have a bad reaction or something to it,
No.
though. But that's an interesting combination.
Isn't that crazy?
Maybe I try a crumb of that.
A crumb.
At least I tried.
Yeah, at least you tried.
We got to get one more look at this
Yep.
beautiful forecast, Claire.
Yep, and maybe you did grab coffee this morning. Make sure that it has been hot these past couple of days, because lows this morning were still below freezing, right at around 30 in Greensboro, 29 in Winston-Salem, 27 in Lexington, and in Mount Airy. Temperatures right now currently making it into the lower 60s, a bit warmer than what we saw yesterday by about 10 degrees. Lots of sunshine heading into this evening and into this upcoming weekend. Next 12 hours, we're back in the 50s, 40s, eventually into the 30s, but I'm not expecting us to go below freezing. although still going to be a cold night ahead, waking up in the lower and middle 30s. Back though in the upper 60s, nearing around 70 degrees throughout the day on Saturday and into Sunday. And to kind of give you an idea of what November looks like, well, typically we're in the middle 60s for highs. Lows were typically in the middle 50s. So slowly inching toward normal and even above normal into this weekend and especially into next week. Hottest days in November here, 85 degrees noted in 1974 and in 1950. A look at the futurecast, clouds and radar into this weekend. Cool start, but in the afternoon, warmer finish, milder lower 70s. A couple of clouds in the mix, but for the most part, not seeing any sort of rain chance this weekend. And also as we head into your upcoming weekend. And into next week. Watching temperatures make it back into the middle and upper 70s next week. Mainly dry conditions with not a shot at rain until next Friday.
Hey there, it's your friends from the Good Morning Show, Ben, Lauren, and Megan.
Do you have a little one who's turning 2 years old?
We want to celebrate them on TV with Who's Turning 2 Tuesdays. Text birthday to 336-379-5775 to find out how to submit your birthday boy or girl.
And from all of us on the Good Morning Show, happy birthday!
About Hi, Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas, California, Colorado, Connecticut, Delaware, Florida.
Hey, ice cold milk and an Oreo cookie, they forever go together like a classic combination.
Hi there, can you hear me? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Vape.
Mic check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Check, check, check.
Here I am, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
The truth, the state also says there are several interviews conducted with friends where she told them she actually birthed Sarah.
Aggie and so much more. And I spoke to some. Behind me there are 50 vendors selling all things Aggie and so much more. I spoke to some vendors who say that they
Hey there, it's time for my 2 cents. Hey, today I'm talking about, not going to dress the part, right? I'm talking about being outdoors, getting out when the weather is cooler and the things you see. And I do love nature. Not like my wife, but I do love nature. But lately, something weird is happening. I think I'm attracting hawks. I'm not quite sure what's going on. Maybe you missed this earlier in another My 2 Cents when I showed my wife who literally used 2 oven mitts to catch a hawk that had gotten into our screened-in porch that had a rip in it, and she picked it up and let it go. Okay, so I thought that was amazing. Well, then my buddy who is a drone pilot was doing some video and told me I could kind of tag along. And look at this. Now here's a hawk coming up to the drone, maybe not attacking it, but confronting it a little bit. He's fronting, right? Sticking his bird chest out, I guess. I don't know what he's doing. But look at him. Like, it got really close to, my buddy was like, I've never had a hawk approach my drone. So I want all of you to know, plus I live in the Northern Guilford School District. They're the Nighthawks. Something's up, people. I don't know what it is. So if you see me on the street, you might want to keep a good, safe distance in case a hawk comes out of nowhere. My wife also, by the way, just extracted a snake from someone's house because they were too afraid to do it themselves. She might have a side career. I don't know. We're working on it. That's just my 2 cents, and that's your 4 to 5. WFMY News 2 at 5 starts now.
Homecoming weekend at North Carolina A&T is in full swing.
All weekend long, there are events for students, alumni, and fans who want to show their Aggie pride. Of course, the game tomorrow, and also Fan Fest going on right now. One vendor came down from Virginia just for GHOE. She says her favorite part and the reason she keeps coming back is bonding with the community here in Greensboro.
The music, we enjoy the game, very competitive.